even with the nerfs, she's still some teams' consistent ban. Some teams will just always remove his army. Solace is the final. That's a sort of skyscraper game.
Azami.
How much is going to be caught here from the full back of Bleed? They're spraying over towards the top of VIP. Mentalist trying everything to offer it, but it's Hoven that cooks the first. Black Grey, there's almost the second. On the swing round, when you have Reaps on your shoulder, you're in a pretty comfortable spot, and he's more than happy to try and lead back in. Will they get him? Tucked behind the simple bar. Turds drawing as much attention as he can. There's a bit of a rotate from Asby underneath, but there's a pickup on a freebie, and what looks like a little bit of a surprise.
Terrible drone in there, in reality, from CAG. They had no idea that Reaps was in behind minibar, and the fact that he's been allowed to stay there now is even more dangerous. That wall should be getting shredded to his right in an attempt to try and pick him up, but CAG, they're not in a position to do that. They've committed a little bit too deep. They've got Chibisu inside of office there, but is he going to win this engagement? No, goes for the stun at the wrong time. It's going to leave Sir in a lot of hot water here. Still struggling to get himself really heavily established. He's outside on the balcony, and a swing is all.
The attempt at something snappy. They said, well, we failed off the site. Let's just go right to it. There's 3 players in Geisha, and they've got to get themselves a bit back. Shoereap, he's being a little bit challenged, but Hoven gets 2 before Chibisu slows him down. The body balance goes away from Cyclops. They're now holding on, and this gives Bleed so much time to try and bleed their way back in. I mean, go a little bit faster here, Chibisu. He doesn't want to go for the plant because he's still some concern around what is covered, what's in control. Anaton has a single door, but all of the pressure is coming around from Shrine side. Reaps, drops Chibisu, and a shield drops nothing of value at this moment in time. They wanted to be snappy, and Hoven baked them like a loaf of bread.
Shoereap, he might have the diffuser, he might have the blitz, but reality is leaving Anaton in a 1 versus 4 here, trying to get this plant down. Anaton's going to miss his shots. Reap, however, is not. Back to that main stairs area. All this is doing at the moment is really running the clock down.
I mean, there's a minute left. They've still got to get vertical. They're about to find a bit of a firefight here. There's a player entering underneath. They push into the first. The kid's cold. Does he know the second fight that hits Pantry? Reaps gets the connection with 1 more. The swing round the pocket. Anaton gets in, gets a little bit of control, but it's a 4 versus 2, 3 rounds, and they've only been able to kill the same player from Bleed. Can they find a second name to suffer the fate at the end of a gun? Anaton isn't going to be able to. Down to Sireneko, and he won't find one either.
There's 2 boss G kills there.
There's that boss G I talked about.
Not going to allow that easy crossing from VIP. You can see that stuns are now going to start to come out, but again, the layered nature of this map means that you can drop yourself back. Finally, we break the mold, and Anaton picks up the first kill here onto Mentalist.
Look at this. They're circling. They're building. Reaps is trying to find the sliver of the fight underneath, but Chibisu isn't overextending. Reaps sure is. Wants the full taste with the pistol, throws the impact rounds to try and get the finish. He knows how close he was to killing Chibisu, and Chibisu knows it just as much. Black Grey finds Reaps in the meantime.
Better.
Gets the end, gets the catch, gets the follow-through of someone else's engagement. Asfi, he's forced further and further away from the plant. Hoven gets the cross, and Turd's trying to keep some control. It's Hoven in a 1 versus 1 against the Blitz on the back end of drum. The Blitz wins it out, leaving just Turd left. 25 seconds, has the ping on probably the most problematic player in the 1 versus 1, but if he can stop the kit going down, that can be the deciding factor here. There's the Blitz. Not revealing anything more than he has to, getting the spray through the side. Turd's under all the pressure, under the sun, and can't find their round.
That's just now. He doesn't have a clue what's going on, and he still doesn't know about Mentalist. This should be an absolute freebie here. He maybe just has to bide his time. The rest of CAG are falling around him as Reaps and Asby pick up 1 apiece. And only if it could get any better, Emmy, that's the case.
Again, beautifully attentive, beautifully drawn in from Bleed there. They said, they're chasing me, stay where you are. Mentalist was asking for the angle to be built up from Pantry on the door, but he didn't even need it in the end. We actually saw the kit had been dropped in an engagement across the side of the shoulder. They're going to try and send it in. Now, if a Ying's on the board, usually you'll try and offer some of the support here. They're in. Are they going to be out? No! But they don't get the kill. They got to reload. It swung around and shotguns locked and loaded. A 4 versus 2. They tried to billow and blow and bluster their way in, but unfortunately, blunder is the only solution here. Cyrenaica, all that's left, a buck underneath.
It would have caused a little bit of a problem there. You would have lost Reaps, and Reaps swung around and picked himself up a couple of kills off the back of it. Surely only a matter of time for our poor old buck here.
A lot with not a huge amount. They've got the single player pinch. They're pre-firing. There wasn't really much. Cyrenaica could have done the 3 versus 3 though. The blitz survives. Asfi gets the trade out. It's all down to Anaton. He's under, has the kit, but there is so much time and still a lot of utility, including a Deimos.
There's a lot that could go wrong here for Anaton. If this was a lot later on into the round, you'd be feeling much more comfortable. He hasn't got a C4. There's a couple of boosts left on the Finker, so health isn't going to be too much of a problem. Oh, no. And then the small fact is you've got a Deimos who's going to send a little drone to fly around your head and give your location away. Sure, you're then going to know, as Anaton, where the Deimos is, but that isn't the point. The Blitz is going to do a great job of collecting that shield. Deimos can just try and poke and prod at Anaton and distract while the plant goes down. Great swing from Anaton to take Asfi down, and he's now going to make that rotation up. Picks himself the kill.
But look at this, Asfi's just gone for a walk.
There's no way that Asfi should be allowed to walk in there. He gets himself into T, but immediately gets taken down. 3 kills come in there for Cyclops, and, well, it isn't a great time. Mentalist still out there on that karaoke rappel. He does have Hoven, but it's just your 2 hard breaches.
Since the start of this, he's been stuck outside. Hoven gets 1. A 2 versus 3 with Mentalist taking a lot of damage. Not sure if that was in the same engagement or not, but still.
Just rip open the floor like you'd be able to if there were some other operators still available. Blackray, he's happy to collect, although Mentalist hits him with a great wallbang, levels it up, 2 versus 2. Now there's 10 seconds left. The pressure is seriously on. Saronic, he picks up Mentalist and relieves a little bit of that pressure here for CAG. GBC closes things out. Want to take that challenge with the shotgun, and he knows there's a chance that someone is behind the deployable as well. That will get removed, but where is the push coming up these black stairs? If Asfi stays here, he's going to be smoked. He gets jumped out on there by Saronic because he picks himself up a double.
Very, very clever play there. They sort of went, look, they're trying to buy time for a 3-2-1 execute. Let's circle them and cut them off before the pass. Now, Reaps, he doesn't have the pickup pressure. Hoven cannot get the follow around. They pre-fire to sort of say, look, we're still watching. Someone else can get him up. We have the man advantage, and we can put the pressure on. 45 seconds. There needs to be someone supporting this. The approach round, holding the close angle, just misses the player, but they don't miss him back. 2 versus 5, and another round taken away here. There's a skeleton key opening a man, but with 25 seconds and only scratch damage to 2 of the other players, probably not going to be able to build their way through here.
It is going to be difficult here. We've got Mentalist and Reaps occupying a similar position. You never really want to be doing that in this occasion. Mentalist playing on these black stairs, picks himself up what is likely at this moment an exit frag as he gets taken down by GBC.
Into them, they would get a little bit more of that structure into them. They obviously still have the brains of the operation behind the back, but with Shurip getting Asfi, and with Shibisu, does find the wrong end, but it's still a 3 versus 4. Tad hops in, gets some control so far. To be fair, Reaps and Hoven have had a pretty solid day at putting people in the ground, but with the next engagement going away from them, again, it's looking like the gamble of putting pressure onto this side after the break is working quite well.
Reaps has a chance here to pick himself one up. He's got the yellow ping information, but he has to cross, and he's crossing very slowly. Grabs one onto Anaton and somehow keeps himself alive. Picks up the second, making it 3 on the round. This has entirely flipped things on its head. He now gets the track on the Legion. He understands that he's below, but we did see a silhouette there flanking up those main stairs. I do wonder what the flank protection is going to be looking like here. Reaps, he doesn't care about the flank protection. He is not going to stop Sharif. You're the last remaining player here for CAG, and the last hope if they wish to continue here on Skyscraper. Hoven gathering a little bit of information on the drone there. Reaps, don't forget, on for the ace right now. There's 35 seconds. He's still got quite a bit to do.
They give some of the game away with the goo mines. They might try and get themselves close to formulating a plan where Shurip steps his way back, but the pre-fire around the corner, he's isolated. There's a hard wall, but there's also Reaps making the distance. He pops up, pops him down. A 1 versus 1 to keep themselves fighting on their map with only 15 seconds. He's got to get himself around. He's got a goo mine in his foot. He's got to pull out. Truly tying with nothing. Shurip holds on. And he gets the back end, but let's be honest, let's be real. That towards the hard, and Asfi cannot get the fight clean.
So the great thing about the Deimos is that pistol absolutely shreds. So you are able to get a few wall bangs going, but on a map like Sky, it can be a bit difficult. And really, doesn't matter too much if you're just going to lose straight up engagements anyway. Shurip rocking the pulse there is going to be picking himself up a kill. Anaton one to boot. It's going to be a flawless quite easily.
Where has this been? Where have they come from? And where are they going to a flawless round? A storybook.
Surenek, he's got the ability, of course, to deploy those Zoto canisters and freeze out that wall, but a great pick there onto Asfi. Someone that really has been pretty quiet since getting onto this attacking side. And speaking of quiet, Mentalist, he's really been down there, often finding himself one of the first people picked off, and that's not ideal. But the biggest thing is we're not getting any value out of that utility. Grim is huge at the moment. Those bees are fantastic. And to lose that, well, who knows? Shurip picks himself up yet another, and we've still got bleed players out on the rappel. They can't even get onto the balconies, Emmy.
I mean, all right. I said, where have they been? And they've made sure that the statement isn't just said the round before. Cyclops has momentum to drive right now.
Dokkaebi call comes through and we can hear a lot of flashes, which usually means one thing. Someone's flying in through a window somewhere, and it's Reaps! Picks himself up too. This is more like it from Bleed. Not only have they got an opening kill, but they've tripled down. 5 versus 2 now. Blackray, he's tucked in behind the desk inside of office. That is, of course, the site. Shurip just trying to keep himself out of the range of that death mark there, throwing the Zoto canister down, seeing if he can get himself into a mute jammer, anything possible to try and deter that death mark from giving away his location.
Now that is a snappier push that we've just seen demonstrated by Bleed. We think about all the previous rounds and it took a lot of time weighing things up before they made it. 4 players threw themselves in towards the other half of the top of this map, and they have found execution. The smoke, led by Mentalist on the glass, trying to just eke his way in to a fight round the side. There's a bit of a breach, but they've got time to play with and cook with at this point because of how quick they were. They didn't allow the rotates. Blackray gets the snap, doesn't have time to pull the pin on the C4. Shurip might suffer next, but he's able to suddenly find the fight round the back end of Trophy. Has the pings on the far range. The C4 fishing gets half a Hoven, but not the full bake. Shurip's able to find his third for the round, and Mentalist, he's knocked out as well! And I said it! It's not just that they're on the defense, they have the momentum and they've got the energy. Utility at sort of nothing now, and without it, well, where do you execute? There's a rotate going towards the bottom of the brown main stairs. There's a bit of pressure that's coming into Anaton's favor. I said they didn't want him to be the first fight, but they're happy for it. Asfi and Hoven, they're able to get 2 back themselves. Shurip keeps trying to push, but keeps finding Fenrir.
Asfi can play himself here inside a gate. He's got a good line of sight onto those main stairs. 3 versus 3 as Mentalist. He too shall fall. Hoven still has that position to play, but over aggression from Asfi. Why is he getting caught out there? Surenek there doing a great job to pick him out. Hoven, he has to try and keep himself alive. He's at the top of these black stairs now. He's got Turd underneath, now starting to feel the pressure as well, and we can hear and see those firebolts coming through. A plant is going to have to go down now.
I mean, that's the point. Where's the kit and where's it going? They're trying to break their way onto Geisha, but the back line is perfectly placed here. Hoven gets the drop on the player. They don't have time! Oh, as close as you like. The one player in the one position.
Going out there as well, you can be pretty safely assured that something is happening right now. Asfi's got himself to the top of those black stairs, and he's just waiting for his teammate to collect a few on the cross. Hoven with the LMG, holding a nice skinny angle there, might find himself 2 here, but no, gets burned by Sureneko.
4 versus 3, but he's reloading in the middle of a window. It doesn't really matter. Everything else is exploding inside the site. Anaton, the man who I said once upon a time defined shields, gets defied by one and Bleed.
Deimos this time has been removed by Bleed, as opposed to a classic Monty band, which we were kind of expecting to get brought out against CAG. The Ram, and you want to throw the boogies in because you don't bring a book, because you think, well, the Ram is going to do a lot of that hard work. So you're right, this push is going to be very difficult indeed. Quick little trade back and forth there. GBC is able to get a little bit of work done, but Asfi, he was just crouch walking towards Serenity there.
Wins it, he probably wins the round. The cover comes across. The grenade will force the player off of that door. No cook time on that anymore. It's pushed back. Anaton, in fact, doesn't want to risk the fight. They've pulled themselves in. Reaps with a scrappy engagement. Doesn't go his way. The cover cross is there. 25 seconds. Only Asfi left above.
Great kill there from Anaton on the drive by Asfi. We knew that this round was going to be very difficult. I won't call it chalk, but it's going to be very difficult as soon as you lose that ram. The clash has been disrupted there, but it isn't enough to cause too much of a problem. Hoven, he's in a position to try and do something about that, but immediately a Kiba barrier greets him. Blackray, he will be the first player to fall, but a brilliant cross there. It's Turt that's credited with the kill, but Bleed have set up a great little 3-2-1 here. I
mean, a bit of a surprise strike there, and you can see Anaton, I think they didn't quite know where the clash was, what the clash was doing. The stun hit them. Keeping one is probably thankful. There's the pressure onto Chibisu. He's going to get caught out as he tries to roll the impact turd. Right time, right place, right reaps, right shoe reap. But now, with 3 bodies remaining, they're all around him. I said they only had a single target before. They're sort of lining up for the next. He pops up on the reload, gets the drop. He's just fishing for heads and bodies, baiting for the energy. He's up and down, but he's Hoven.
Know when to hit that flank. Cyreneko, he's going to get stunned out here, full white flashed. And instead of dropping there, we're going to see a player hop over onto the balcony. Shurips, he'll be successful. The fire does drop, and Fluka's got their hands in the air right now because they correctly called it, but still he remains. Great pick from Hoven. Forces Cyreneko into the corner there and knows he can pre-fire the angle.
The one thing that I called that didn't quite come together was Reaps did go to the kitchen window to catch it, but then got shot in the face by somebody who was ready to offer some support, so they tried to stick in the environment. There's at least still the engagement, but with 50 seconds left, as I said, some of this starts to happen very swiftly with how thin it is between being outside and being in a position to plant the smoke covers. The corridor on the rotate, but there's Chibisu lining up, can't get both, it's traded back and forth, locked in, but he's behind you. 1 versus 1. Out of absolutely everything, nothing is pretty much left, but it's Turd. The Buck with a little bit of pocket utility to drive himself on those flashes, and Anaton, a great gun and a great gunner behind it to try and just get that first foot, that first engagement, that first alleyway, because there's only 20 seconds left, and that time you're not going to be able to really get the kit and hold F. He wants to fight. So Anaton's put himself on the other side of it. He expects the fight, and he's making sure that when it comes towards him, he at least has a little bit more wiggle room. The flashes come around the corner. It's not being given to him. That one will pocket itself. He's on the other side, but Anaton, oh, he's just able to flirt with danger and fall back.
They're trying to put a bit of pressure in onto Garage. Shuri will need to be cautious there as he is going to be hanging around, but cautious. Obviously not cautious enough. Not cautious enough for Mentalist there. And a great pick onto Anaton. Some fantastic information. And Mentalist, he had moments on Sky where he couldn't put a foot right. Now he can't put a foot wrong.
It was the thing I said at the end of the map is there were still great performances, but Turd and Mentalist were the 2 that were behind the pace. That's just statistics, unfortunately. They were aware of that, and they had the conversation about it just as much as we pointed it out. They will know all of this. As intrinsically, now, Mentalist finding a return to form, putting the pressure back in. You're looking at 2 players that have been able to put some distance in. There's Reaps, getting the catch onto 1 more.
I thought the Observer was going to hit a nice shot then. I don't know, we saw the chat when I was panicking. I was like,
himself in.
Don't say anything. We don't want to rile these players up any more than they're riling each other at the moment.
And, well, we know our wonderful observing team, Sky, easy as medics, all ready for a fight. Blackray, I don't know. He's got to be ready for a fight. He hasn't found a single one. Now he's got to find all 5 if he's got a hope of this round. The ace to open, not only you're killing, well, he can't even get the drone.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes I can relate.
Down. There's also another down, but it's the plant down, baby.
Well, the C4 was a little bit late there.
This is it. All of those entrances, they're watched and sort of metered. Ashfi, he crouched his way in on the back end, but does he know that there's players right behind him? It doesn't matter. He gets 1, but there's a second, and Chibisu a little bit too late, a little bit too wide, a little bit too much of a miss. There's the catch. The support comes through from Reaps. They know that there's a player on top blue as well, holding the angle, but that really was the missed moment. A double flank just flitters away to nothing, a flawless.
misdroned. They know about Anaton, but I don't think they know here about Sharif, and Anaton can bait that perfectly. Reaps, he's going to look to try and open the wall. Not going for a hop through, just trying to get a line of sight and use it. Black Ray falls, Mentalist finds another, and Sharif, well, they certainly didn't know about him because he's still up here, and I'm sure if they did, he would have been dealt with by now. Look at all this red ping information. Finally, the drone comes through. Shots fire left and right. Brilliant pinch to close the round out.
How much bite does a catfish have? Maverick's going to start their work. They wanted to hit it with a C4. They couldn't quite get it. Hoven does find Chibisu in the meantime, so the first is into their favor. Mentalist wants to swing around with a shotgun, looking for the second follow-through, but it's all heavy. It's all very direct on towards this back-end site. There needs to be some pressure elsewhere, whether it's top blue on rafters. There goes Turd. Didn't quite have the impact that he wanted, but he might have drawn some attention. However, with that cut in, there's still this pressure of time. Aspie, he's trying to hold on towards the top of blue itself. As I said, there needs to be a second for this to move in, which is why they're trying to retake it. Hoven gets one, the drift by, drive by. It's a retake that hasn't quite worked, but there's at least the second back end, one on IT. And one at the bottom of rafters. They've got to try and pinch their way out. Hoven can just leave at this point, but he seems a man that really wants to play his life every position, and no more keeper barricades to give himself any more time. Time, though, they've pretty much run out of. Missed this player, going for the Deeg for the last. He knows where they're coming from, and he hits the side of Sireneko, hits the second, and there's the
three in a row. More pressure on this utility. Hoven maybe got a bit aggro there. If he'd have got a kill, it would have been a different story, but he didn't. There's still potential here for Shuri to walk in. He is worried about the vert, though. We do see the EMP going out there just to deny anything that could be causing him a hassle, and Stun's getting sent out into Exo. The plant now starts to go down. Asfi picks up one onto Black Ray, but that isn't going to stop this plant from being secured. Shuri, he's nailed it to the floor, and now we're in a post. Suranek, he gets himself down on the Zephyr. Anaton, half damage. He manages to get himself away. Suranek there was essentially the bait in order to get that plant down, but Mentalist, he's already got himself on it. No, the D shield. Why would you lose that in that position? Well, Reaps looks like he's rocking the shotgun here, so give himself a few little options. Another plant opportunity going in for Cyclops. Anaton, he's going to try and get it down in and amongst the chaos. He gets taken out, but so does Mentalist. Mentalist hits him with a little head shake there, but Shuri from above. Damage has already been done, though. The plant, whilst it didn't go down, it now means that it's cold in the middle of the site, and Turd, he's on his Boss G ACOG arc again, picking himself up yet another. Eventually, quite rightly, gets shut down by Chibisu, but 3 versus 2 now, 45 seconds left, and the kit is in the heart of the bomb site.
3 versus 2, as he said, the Ram. They're drawing some attention elsewhere. A very, very noisy gadget. Oh, and a very, very noisy rotate. Saw a body, but saw a closer one, unfortunately, with their gun raised. Shuri, all that's left. Turd hits the GG a little bit early, but at this point, when they can't even find their way through the rotates, he's done magnificent clutches before. Shuri, they've been 3 versus 1s, but not against this one. Bleed. A long first map into a very smooth second. Labs